But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.
You clearly want to make some, so why not just make it?
Because I'm scared.
Of what?
I don't know.
Exactly. You just answered your own question.
So many of us are afraid of it not working out. But the thing is, it's definitely not going to work out if you never start. But you already know that. And you're still waiting. Waiting for perfect, for confident, for ready.
Becoming who I am today. You don't just wake up and just rocky to getting better. And that process.
You're not behind. You're not late. You're just stuck in the loop of waiting for the right time. This is your sign to stop waiting. Hit upload. Sign up for the gym. Launch the brand. Start messy. Start unsure. But start. You're not lazy. You're scared. Scared if it won't work. Scared that they'll judge you. Scared that you'll fail. Instead of starting, you plan, you scroll, and you wait. But here's the truth. Nothing works until you work. No one gets good without being bad first. No business grows from ideas alone, and no one builds confidence sitting still. Your first video will suck. The first reps will feel awkward. That first launch might flop. But it's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be the first step. All right, what is up, you guys? Good morning. For anyone new to this channel, my name is Ron, and this content basically is a combination of vlogs that I am constantly working on, trying to make more and more cinematic, movie-like, just more entertaining, more compelling, more story-driven, but it's all really with the same goal in mind. I really just want to help motivate and inspire, and you are the main character is kind of the theme of the channel, but that encompasses everything. So I'll have videos about trying to push you in terms of physical health, fitness, working out. Sometimes it'll be about pushing you from the aspect of creating content, helping you maybe escape a 9-to-5, because that's what I did, and now I get to do YouTube full time. This isn't my main channel. And other times it'll be about manifesting and belief, or dealing with criticism, anything that comes to my mind. This is basically my canvas, and I feel that I want to turn the ideas that are given to me into meaningful content that I think could impact you. I don't think every video is going to be for every single person who subscribes to this channel, but I'm hoping that even if the topic might not be super relevant for you, that I make it compelling enough through the visuals, through the audio, through the things that I'm constantly working on, so that you get something out of it. With that said, I always start my morning with some coffee, so let's do that. Today we are going to be doing some pour over. I have an espresso machine and I love it. That's my baby. By the way, if you are coffee drinkers or coffee lovers, highly recommend you investing in an espresso machine. But I've been in a pour over mood. So the topic of this video is just start. So I have been on YouTube now since 2015. I've started and stopped a handful of channels. I currently now operate 4 channels that are active, and the total subscriber count is right around 450,000 subscribers. So with that being said, I've gone through the ups and downs of starting and how hard it is to start. While I let the water boil, I'm gonna talk to you. And basically, I understand the fears that most people have about starting, but I want to let you know that it's not just content. I get reached out to by so many people when it comes to starting out, working out, going to the gym for the first time. That's going to be awkward. Starting a project, getting into running, starting art, starting creating content. There's so many things that we as human beings want to start, and we never do. Most of us never do. And most of us don't do it for two main reasons. One, fear of failure, which I'm going to talk about a lot in this video. And two, the fear of other people's opinions, which honestly, that is probably the most crippling thing that us as human beings let impact us, unfortunately. So as I'm making my coffee, I'm curious. I want you to think, what have you wanted to start that you haven't started yet? And ask yourself why. A lot of the times, the reason why people don't start is because they get caught up in quote unquote work, life, other things take priority. And so they put it on the back burner. They feel they're not ready. And that unfortunately prevents a lot of us from accomplishing a lot of things. And my tone of voice as I'm talking to you, by the way, is going to be very kind of like a big brother approach, because I think a lot of us need that. But I want to question you, why haven't you started? What is it that you know deep down in your heart you want to do, you want to start, or you want to start doing that you haven't yet? Ask yourself that, right? I'll give you a second. Now let me ask you why. Why haven't you started? I know you have, I'm guessing, a handful of excuses. I think we all do. As human beings, we have life, things come up, we don't have time, yada, yada, yada. But let's get to the root of it, the real reason why, the thing that we're suppressing or burying, because you and I both know, you can find the time to do whatever it is you want to do. If you do want to start creating content, you do want to start this hobby, you do want to start going here, you want to start doing something that you know is going to bring you fulfillment and ultimately could lead to life-changing freedom. But you and I both know why you haven't started. And more than likely, it's because you're afraid of failure, okay? And I'm here to tell you that that's normal, okay? Let's dissect real quick what that means though. Okay, so you're afraid to fail, right? Hear me out, let's play this out. Whatever it is you want to start, you're afraid that if you start, you're going to invest this time, you're going to invest energy, potentially money, all these things. We'll talk about your fear of what other people might say in judgment, but putting that aside for now, you're afraid that it would all be for nothing and you end up failing. You end up with zero, you end up feeling like it was all a waste, okay? Let's play that road out, like worst case scenario. That's it, okay? Guess what? What happens if you never start? You end up in the same situation, okay? This is like the switch that I need everyone to make. You starting something, whatever the hell it is, I'm not gonna judge or tell you what you should and shouldn't do, even though I think everyone should be creating content in 2025 and moving forward. That aside, whatever it is, if you do not start, you're ending up in the same exact spot as if you do start and you fail. Let that sink in. Just think about that. Think about the outcome. Think about 5 years from now. You in 5 years. One version of you started and failed, which is worst case scenario. The other version never started. In 5 years, where are you? Think about that. Okay? So you're thinking about it, right? Where are you in 5 years if you don't start or if you do start and fail? Okay. Now we've mapped that out. We've played it out in our heads, okay? We have both versions. And now hopefully you're kind of like, wait a second, he might be onto something. Because if the outcome is ultimately the same, yes, you can say, but I lost money and I lost time and energy and effort. And I'm sure there are things in that worst case scenario. Hear me out. If you never start, okay, so the other route, you're going to be eating that inside. the what ifs, the hypotheticals, the regret, those things are going to eat you alive, not just for the next 5 years, but for the next 50 years until you're on your deathbed, for never starting, for playing it safe, for just getting stuck in that 9 to 5, stuck in the same shit over and over every single day. Okay? So let's just say if I'm a gambling person and I'm trying to convince you, let's say those things cancel each other out then. The regret, the thoughts of the what ifs, that will cancel out the investment that you made over the 5 years. Okay, so now we've kind of talked through all worst case scenarios. That's it, that's everything, right? And again, we will talk about later in this video about kind of the fear of people's judgment. That's like a very shitty but realistic thing, I know. Okay, so now is the fun part. Now let's talk about best case scenario. What if it works out? What if your life changes? We've played 2 routes. You started and it failed and it was worst case scenario. The other route, you never started. Best case scenario now, okay? Because it's only fair, and we canceled out the things that we talked about. Best case scenario is your life changes. You build the business, you get in the best shape of your life, you meet the love of your life, you make your parents proud, you become this ultra successful, healthy person, you create a YouTube channel, you become famous, whatever your goals are. Best case scenario is that happens. Basically, the point that I'm trying to make now is you've already failed if you never start, okay? That is just a fact. And so the thing that you know deep down inside you want to do, you need to start immediately. It's going to suck. It's going to be messy. It's not going to be perfect, but you're going to give it your all and you're going to do it for the next 5 years and then analyze and then adjust and then see what you want to do if you want to keep going or not. But either way, what I promise you, and this is just something you can take away, hopefully, to implement moving forward when you're trying to make decisions, write down best case scenarios and write down worst case scenarios of both decisions. And when you do that, I promise you, if you were to do that right now for whether or not you should start, 10 out of 10 times it's going to be start. I can guarantee you it. I want you to think about that, okay? I want you to think about that. Don't worry, I still really want to talk about, and I'm going to here in a bit, I have to go film with my wife, but then later today I'm going to go work out, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about the fear of judgment and the fear of what people might think about you, because I know that is a huge, huge reason why a lot of us don't start, so I'm going to address that. And ironically, I'll do it while at the gym, while working out, which is still something that is a little awkward for me. It's hard to bring a camera around to the gym, but we'll talk about that anyways. But for now, I want you to ask yourself, best case scenario, worst case scenario, why aren't you starting? Why haven't you? And why don't you start tomorrow? All right, so I just got to the gym. I'm sitting right outside. I love this little area because they have like a green, like turf grass. They have like tires set up. It's just a cool scene. They got the lights, and then you got the sunset right over here. Look. You got the sunset, you got the bridge, and just the freeway and stuff. I don't know, I just think it's just a cool little scene. But, so one of the other things that I wanted to address when it comes to starting is this fear of what other people are going to think. I've probably done like 3 videos on the opinions of others because it was something that consumed me for so long. The reason why I should have started doing YouTube way before, but I told myself I wasn't ready. I was worried about so many people's opinions. I was worried about the opinions of, my high school friends. I was worried about the opinions of my college friends, my coworkers, the people on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. And it's a crazy thing because now that I get to do this full time and I create content full time, you know, I've been doing it now for 5 years, you know, the same opinions that I was worried about are the same people that either DM me on Instagram or reply to a story and they're like, yo, I'm so proud of you, congrats. Or they're the same people that are actually reaching out to me, hitting me up, asking for advice, or, you know, they want to get into content creation or whatever it is. And I'm not saying that to boast, I'm saying that because the same thing's going to happen for you, okay? You have to understand that at the beginning, it's always going to feel that way. Like, think about anyone, I'd imagine that all actors that we look up to, when they first started acting, people probably thought that they were out of their minds. They're never gonna make it. People probably thought it was cringe, right? Until they become successful, and then it's like, so that's just one thing that you need to understand. And I'm going to make a video on visualization, but I want you guys, whatever it is you're starting, you need to start with the vision that you will have success. Yes, there's going to be opinions of people, but you have to understand that when you reach that level of success, those opinions are not gonna matter. Whether they're positive or negative, they're not gonna matter. You have to treat them both equally. You have to do it for you. All right, I'm gonna go in because the gym closes in 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I gotta get a workout in, so let's go do that, and then we'll wrap this up. But I'm excited about this message. I really am. And I'm excited to keep putting out content that every video is just gonna have a different message, but it should all be inspiring and motivating, and hopefully uplift at least one of you to be like, you know what, fuck it. After watching this, I'm doing it. I'm starting that thing. Let's go.